Be careful who you call close. Some people do not enter your life to love you. They enter quietly, listen carefully, study your soft places, and wait until you trust them enough to lower your guard. And the painful truth is this: most people do not betray strangers. They betray the ones who gave them access. So before you open your heart, your plans, your fears, and your real self to another smiling face, learn the art of trust. Not blind trust, not cold suspicion, but quiet wisdom. Because the smartest person in the room is not the one who trusts nobody. It is the one who respects everyone, watches everything, and lets time decide who deserves the key. 1. Stop calling everyone your friend. One of the fastest ways to become easy to hurt is calling everyone your friend too quickly. Some people are not your friends. They are just familiar faces, regular conversations, friendly smiles, and temporary company. There is a big difference between someone who enjoys your presence and someone who deserves access to your private world. A real friend does not only appear when life is easy, when you are useful, or when they need something from you. A real friend protects your name when you are absent, respects your boundaries when you say no, and stays honest with you even when the truth is uncomfortable. The problem is, good people often confuse connection with loyalty. Someone listens to you once, laughs with you twice, supports you in public, and suddenly you start giving them the title of friend. But titles are dangerous when they are given before proof, because the moment you call someone your friend, you lower your guard, share more, expect more, and trust faster. That is where disappointment begins. Be kind to everyone, but do not promote everyone to the inner circle. Let people earn that place through time, consistency, respect, and pressure. A friend is not someone who knows your stories. A friend is someone who can be trusted with them. 2. Never let anyone read your entire mind. Never give people a full map of your thoughts, plans, fears, dreams, and weaknesses too early. Not because you should live in fear, but because not everyone has the character to handle your truth with care. Some people listen to understand you, others listen to collect information. And the dangerous part is, both can look exactly the same in the beginning. They ask questions, they act interested, they make you feel safe, and slowly you start opening doors inside your mind that should have stayed locked until time proved their loyalty. A wise person understands that privacy is not dishonesty. You can be honest without being completely exposed. You can be friendly without giving someone the keys to your entire inner world. You can talk, laugh, share moments, and still keep your deepest plans protected. Because once people know what you fear, what you want, what you are building, and where you feel weak, they also know where to touch you when their feelings change. This is how many good people lose power. They reveal too much to people who have not earned enough trust. Then later, the same person who once comforted them uses their words against them, mocks their dreams, or spreads their private pain like entertainment. That is not betrayal alone. That is unprotected access. So move with warmth, but also with wisdom. Let people see your kindness, not your entire strategy. Let them hear your voice, not every thought behind it. The strongest people are not mysterious because they are fake. They are private because they understand value, and what is valuable should never be left open for anyone to walk through. 3. Why good people get used again and again. Good people do not get used because they are weak. They get used because they keep giving access to people who have not earned it. They believe if they stay kind enough, patient enough, forgiving enough, people will finally understand their value. But some people do not become better because you treat them well. They simply become more comfortable taking from you. This is where the pain begins. You help once, and they appreciate it. You help twice, and they expect it. You help too many times, and suddenly your kindness becomes your job. They stop asking with respect and start taking with confidence. They do not see your sacrifice anymore. They see your availability. And when you finally feel tired, when you finally say no, they act like you betrayed them. Good people often confuse being useful with being loved. They feel needed and mistake it for being valued. But being needed is not the same as being respected. Some people need your energy, your advice, your money, your attention, your forgiveness, your emotional support. But they do not care enough to protect you in return. They only love the version of you that never complains, never refuses, and never asks for anything back. To stop being used, you do not need to become hard. You need to become honest with yourself. Ask, do they still respect me when I have nothing to give? Do they check on me when I am silent? Do they accept my boundaries without punishment? Do they care about my peace or only my usefulness? Your kindness is a gift, but even a gift loses meaning when it is handed to people who only know how to take. The goal is not to stop being good. The goal is to stop being available to people who turn your goodness into a weakness. 4. Trust your peace more than their performance. One of the most dangerous mistakes you can make is trusting how someone performs in front of you more than how your spirit feels around them. Some people know how to speak softly, smile perfectly, apologize emotionally, and act innocent at the right moment. They know how to make you doubt your own discomfort. They know how to say the right words after doing the wrong things. And because their performance looks convincing, you start ignoring the one thing that was trying to protect you from the beginning, your peace. Your peace often recognizes danger before your mind can explain it. You may not have proof yet, you may not have a clear reason, you may not be able to tell anyone exactly what feels wrong, but something inside you becomes heavy around them. Your energy drops, your thoughts become confused. You feel the need to explain yourself again and again. You feel like you are always waiting for their mood to change, always measuring your words, always trying not to trigger their reaction. That is not peace. That is your inner self warning you that this person may be costing you more than you want to admit. Many people stay close to the wrong people because the wrong person knows how to perform well enough to keep them attached. They hurt you, then they become sweet. They ignore you, then they act caring. They disrespect you, then they say you misunderstood. They disappear when you need them, then return with a soft voice and a perfect excuse. They create confusion, then offer comfort from the same pain they caused. And if you are a good-hearted person, you may keep focusing on their good moments while your peace keeps showing you the whole pattern. This is why you must stop judging people only by their best behavior. Anyone can be kind for a moment. Anyone can be loving when they are afraid of losing access to you. Anyone can apologize when they feel consequences coming. Anyone can act loyal when it benefits them. The real question is not how they behave when they want something from you. The real question is how you feel after being around them for a long time. Do you feel calm, clear, respected and safe? Or do you feel drained, anxious, guilty, confused, and smaller than before? A person who is good for you does not constantly disturb your inner world. They do not make your heart feel like a battlefield. They do not force you to become a detective just to understand where you stand. They do not make you question your worth every time they change their tone. They do not leave you peaceful one day and broken the next. Real trust does not feel like emotional gambling. Real trust gives your nervous system rest. Real trust allows you to breathe. But when you do not trust your peace, you begin trusting excuses. You tell yourself, maybe they are just stressed. Maybe I am overthinking. Maybe they did not mean it. Maybe I should give them more time. And sometimes, yes, people make mistakes. People have difficult days. People grow, people learn. But there is a difference between someone who makes a mistake and someone who becomes a repeated threat to your peace. A mistake happens once and is followed by change. A pattern repeats and is followed by another excuse. Your peace is not asking you to hate them. It is asking you to pay attention. It is asking you to stop giving unlimited chances to people who keep proving the same thing in different ways. It is asking you to stop being impressed by beautiful words when your heart keeps feeling unsafe. It is asking you to understand that not every soft voice is sincere, not every apology is transformation, and not every person who says trust me is worthy of trust. Some people are masters of emotional performance. They know exactly when to become gentle. They know when to become wounded. They know how to turn the situation around until you feel guilty for noticing their behavior. They know how to make your boundary look cruel, your silence look immature, your pain look dramatic, and your questions look like disrespect. By the end of the conversation, you forget what they did because now you are busy defending how you reacted. That is not love. That is manipulation wearing a calm face. This is why peace must become your highest evidence. If someone's presence keeps pulling you away from yourself, listen. If someone's words sound loving but their behavior keeps damaging you, listen. If someone keeps promising change but your heart becomes heavier every time they return, listen. Your peace is not weak. Your peace is intelligent. It records what your mind tries to excuse. It remembers what your emotions try to romanticize. It whispers truth before your pride is ready to accept it. You do not need to wait until someone destroys you completely before you admit they are not healthy for you. You do not need one dramatic betrayal. You do not need one final proof that everyone else can see. Sometimes the proof is the quiet loss of yourself. You stop laughing the same. You stop sleeping peacefully. You stop feeling confident. You stop making decisions freely. You stop trusting your own judgment because someone keeps making you feel wrong for having standards. That is enough reason to step back. Trusting your peace means you stop arguing with your own discomfort. It means you stop forcing yourself to feel safe with people who keep making you uneasy. It means you stop accepting temporary sweetness as proof of long-term loyalty. It means you understand that peace is not boring. Peace is protection. Peace is the environment where your mind becomes clear, your strength returns, and your life starts moving again. A wise person does not only ask, "Do they love me?" A wise person asks, "What does their love do to me? Does it make me stronger or weaker? Does it make me calm or restless? Does it bring me closer to my purpose or pull me into constant emotional noise? Does it protect my dignity or make me beg for basic respect?" Because sometimes the wrong people do not look like enemies. Sometimes they look like people you care about deeply. Sometimes they say they love you, but the version of you that stays with them keeps shrinking. And listen carefully. You are allowed to choose peace even when someone has good qualities. You are allowed to walk away from someone who is not completely bad, but still not good for your life. You are allowed to protect yourself from people who can be kind sometimes and harmful often. You are allowed to stop giving your heart to someone just because they occasionally remind you of the person you hoped they could become. Trust your peace more than their performance. Trust the heaviness. Trust the pattern. Trust the way your body relaxes when they are gone. Trust the silence that feels better than their attention. Trust the calm that returns when you stop explaining, stop chasing, stop proving, and stop waiting for them to become safe. Because the person who truly belongs in your life will not need to perform trust every day. Their consistency will speak. Their respect will be steady. Their presence will not confuse your mind or disturb your soul. They will not make you choose between loving them and losing yourself. So be kind, but be awake. Listen to words, but study energy. Accept apologies, but watch behavior. Give people room to grow, but do not give them permission to keep breaking your peace while they figure themselves out. Your peace is not something small. It is your inner home, and not everyone deserves a key to it. 5. Let people talk until they expose their pattern. One of the smartest things you can do is stop interrupting people while they are revealing themselves. Many people expose their real nature, but because you are too quick to explain, defend, correct, or respond, you miss the pattern. You hear one sentence and react to it. You see one action and immediately question it. You feel one strange moment and rush to make sense of it. But wise people do something different. They stay calm. They listen longer. They observe quietly. They allow people to keep talking until the mask becomes too heavy to hold. Most people cannot hide who they are forever. They can hide it for one conversation. They can hide it for a few weeks. They can hide it when they want something from you, but over time their pattern will speak louder than their performance. The jealous person will eventually reveal jealousy through small comments. The selfish person will eventually reveal selfishness through repeated taking. The dishonest person will eventually contradict their own story. The manipulative person will eventually make you feel guilty for having boundaries. The user will eventually disappear when you stop being useful. This is why silence is powerful. When you stop rushing to fill every empty space, people begin filling it with truth. They tell you what they value. They tell you how they see others. They tell you what they think they can get away with. They tell you who they blame, who they envy, who they secretly look down on, and what kind of respect they only pretend to have. Sometimes they do not expose themselves through confession. They expose themselves through repetition. Pay attention to what they keep returning to. Some people always talk about themselves, even when you are in pain. Some people always speak badly about others, but expect you to believe they speak well about you when you are not there. Some people always turn every problem into someone else's fault. Some people always make themselves the victim, even when they cause the damage. Some people always celebrate your success with a cold face, then become alive when they hear about your struggle. Do not ignore these patterns. A pattern is a message that keeps repeating because you refuse to accept it the first time. Many good people get hurt because they listen to explanations more than patterns. Someone disrespects them, then explains it beautifully. Someone lies, then explains it emotionally. Someone disappears, then explains it dramatically. Someone crosses a boundary, then explains it like an accident. And because the explanation sounds human, soft, and believable, the good person forgives the pattern again. But listen carefully. A person's explanation may touch your heart, but their pattern tells you the truth. Anyone can explain one mistake, but when the same mistake keeps returning in different clothing, it is no longer a mistake. It is a habit, it is a choice, it is a character issue, and if you keep accepting the explanation, you will keep living inside the same pain. Let people talk. Let them tell stories. Let them describe their past. Let them speak about their enemies. Let them speak about their friends. Let them speak about money, loyalty, respect, love, success, and failure. But do not only listen to the words, listen to the attitude behind the words. Do they take responsibility, or do they always blame? Do they show gratitude, or do they only complain? Do they respect people who cannot benefit them, or do they only respect status? Do they speak with humility, or do they always need to look superior? A person's mouth often reveals the condition of their heart. If someone constantly mocks people who trusted them, be careful. One day you may become one of those stories. If someone proudly talks about how they used people, be careful. They are not warning you by accident. If someone enjoys exposing other people's secrets, be careful. They are showing you what they do with private information. If someone laughs at someone else's pain, be careful. Their sympathy may only appear when they need to look kind. People do not only expose themselves through what they say about you, they expose themselves through what they say about others. This is where wisdom begins. You stop being impressed by charm and start studying consistency. You stop asking, do they sound nice? And start asking, what pattern follows them everywhere? Because charm can be learned, good manners can be performed. A sweet voice can be used as a costume, but patterns are harder to fake. Patterns are footprints. They show where a person has been and where they are likely to go again. When someone keeps lying about small things, do not wait for them to lie about something big before you believe they are dishonest. When someone keeps disrespecting small boundaries, do not wait for them to destroy your peace before you admit they do not respect limits. When someone keeps making you feel guilty for needing space, do not wait until you lose yourself before you understand they want access, not love. The little things are not little, they are previews. A person who cannot be trusted with small truth cannot be trusted with deep truth. A person who cannot respect small boundaries cannot be trusted near your private life. A person who is careless with small promises will eventually be careless with big commitments. People usually reveal the ending in the beginning, but we ignore it because we want the story to be different. Sometimes you already know. You felt it in the first strange comment. You noticed it in the way they changed when you said no. You saw it in how they treated someone weaker than them. You heard it in the way they spoke about a person who helped them. You sensed it in how quickly they wanted access to your secrets. But instead of trusting what you noticed, you told yourself to be nice, to be patient, to not judge, to give them a chance. Giving people a chance is good. Giving people unlimited chances to repeat the same pattern is how you betray yourself. Let people talk until they expose their pattern, but once they expose it, do not pretend you did not see it. That is the part many people fail. They observe clearly, then forgive blindly. They notice the truth, then cover it with hope. They see the pattern, then choose the fantasy. And later, when the pain becomes bigger, they say, "I never saw this coming." But deep down they did. They just did not want to believe the small signs. You do not need to become suspicious of everyone. You only need to become more awake. There is a difference between paranoia and wisdom. Paranoia assumes everyone is dangerous. Wisdom waits, watches, and lets people prove who they are. Wisdom does not accuse too early, but it also does not ignore what keeps repeating. So the next time someone talks, do not only listen for beauty, listen for truth. When they make promises, watch what follows. When they apologize, watch what changes. When they criticize others, notice whether they carry bitterness or honesty. When they speak about loyalty, notice whether their life shows loyalty. When they speak about love, notice whether their behavior brings peace or confusion. A person can lie in one sentence, but they cannot hide forever inside a pattern. Your job is not to expose everyone. Your job is to stop being blind to what they are already exposing. Stay calm, stay quiet when needed. Let their words run long enough. Let their behavior repeat enough times. Let time remove the costume. And when the pattern becomes clear, believe it. Because people often tell you exactly who they are. Not once, not loudly, not always directly, but through habits, reactions, contradictions, jokes, jealousy, silence, excuses, and the way they treat you when they no longer need to impress you. Let them talk. Let them move. Let them choose. Let them reveal. Then protect yourself accordingly. 6. Believe behavior more than apologies. An apology can sound beautiful and still mean nothing. Some people have mastered the language of regret without ever learning the discipline of change. They know how to lower their voice, look wounded, say the right sentence, and make you feel like your pain has finally been understood. But the real test is not what they say when they are afraid of losing you. The real test is what they do when they get access to you again. Good people often get trapped by apologies because they want to believe the best. They hear, "I'm sorry," and their heart softens. They hear, "I didn't mean it," and they start doubting their own pain. They hear, "I'll change," and suddenly all the memories of disrespect become less clear. But listen carefully. An apology is only the door. Behavior is the path. If someone keeps opening the door with words, but never walks the path with action, they are not changing. They are only resetting the cycle. You must stop measuring people by how emotional they become after hurting you. Tears are not transformation. Regret is not responsibility. Sadness is not proof of loyalty. Some people cry because they hurt you. Others cry because they got caught. Some apologize because they understand your pain. Others apologize because they are afraid of consequences. Both apologies may sound the same, but their behavior afterward will reveal the difference. A real apology creates a new pattern. A fake apology creates a short pause before the same pain returns. This is where many kind people lose years of their life. They keep forgiving the apology instead of studying the behavior. Someone lies, apologizes, and lies again. Someone disrespects them, apologizes, and repeats it in a new way. Someone disappears, apologizes, and disappears again when they are needed. Someone breaks trust, apologizes, and then becomes angry when they are not trusted immediately. And the good person keeps thinking, maybe this time they mean it. But time keeps showing the same answer. If a person is truly sorry, They do not rush you to forget. They do not pressure you to move on before you feel safe. They do not make your healing an inconvenience. They do not say, "Why are you still talking about this?" when they are the reason the wound exists. A person who is truly sorry understands that rebuilding trust takes more than a sentence. It takes patience, it takes humility, it takes repeated proof, it takes the willingness to be uncomfortable while they repair what they damaged. But someone who only performs apology wants forgiveness without repair. They want access without accountability. They want your warmth back without earning your safety back. They want you to stop feeling hurt because your pain reminds them of what they did. So instead of changing, they try to make you feel guilty for remembering. That is manipulation. Never let someone turn your memory into a crime. If they keep hurting you, you are allowed to remember. If they broke trust, you are allowed to need proof. If they damaged your peace, you are allowed to take distance. Forgiveness does not mean pretending nothing happened. Forgiveness does not mean giving the same access to someone who has shown they cannot handle it. Forgiveness can release bitterness while wisdom still changes the boundary. Watch what happens after the apology. Do they become more careful with your heart, or do they become annoyed that you are not instantly the same? Do they respect the boundary, or do they punish you for creating it? Do they take responsibility, or do they explain everything until they become the victim? Do they change the behavior, or do they simply change the excuse? Behavior is the language of truth. Someone can say, "I respect you," but if they keep crossing your limits, believe the crossing. Someone can say, "I care about you," but if they only appear when they need something, believe the absence. Someone can say, "I support you," but if your success makes them cold, believe the energy. Someone can say, "Trust me," but if their actions keep creating confusion, believe the confusion. Words are easy when there is no cost. Behavior costs effort. Behavior costs pride. Behavior costs comfort. That is why behavior reveals what words try to hide. The person who truly values you will not only apologize after they hurt you, they will study what hurt you. They will adjust. They will become more aware. They will not keep using the same weapon and calling it a mistake. They will not keep stepping on the same wound and asking why you are still sensitive. They will not keep breaking the same promise and expecting your trust to remain untouched. Trust is not rebuilt by asking for it. Trust is rebuilt by becoming someone who no longer makes trust feel dangerous. This is especially important if you are someone with a forgiving heart. Your forgiveness is beautiful, but it must have wisdom inside it. A soft heart without discernment becomes a place where careless people rest, recover, and return to hurt you again. They know you will understand. They know you will give another chance. They know you will remember their good side. They know you will feel guilty for walking away. And if you are not careful, your mercy becomes their permission. Do not let your kindness become a shelter for repeated disrespect. There is a difference between a person who is growing and a person who is repeating. A growing person may fail, but they become more responsible with time. A repeating person apologizes, returns, and does the same thing with better wording. A growing person listens when you say something hurt you. A repeating person argues with your pain. A growing person accepts consequences. A repeating person demands comfort from the person they wounded. So ask yourself, after the apology, did anything actually change? Not for one day, not for 1 week, not while they were afraid. Did the pattern change when things became normal again? Did they become more respectful when they were comfortable? Did they keep their word when there was no pressure? Did they protect your peace when they had nothing to gain? Because temporary good behavior after being confronted is not always growth. Sometimes it is damage control. Real change does not need constant reminders. Real change does not disappear when you stop watching. Real change becomes part of a person's character. You feel it, you see it, you do not have to beg for it. You do not have to keep explaining the same wound. You do not have to keep teaching an adult how to respect what they already know they are hurting. And if someone keeps saying sorry but keeps doing the same thing, believe the doing. Not because you are cruel, not because you are unforgiving, but because your life is too valuable to be trapped inside someone else's repeated lesson. Some people will only learn when access is removed. Some people will only understand your value when your presence is no longer available. Some people are not changed by your patience, they are empowered by it. They mistake your forgiveness for weakness and your return for proof that consequences do not exist. Let them learn without using your peace as the classroom. The strongest version of you is not the version that gives endless chances. The strongest version of you is the one that can forgive someone and still say, "You no longer get the same access to me." That is maturity. That is self-respect. That is how you protect the heart you worked so hard to heal. Believe behavior more than apologies. Believe the repeated action. Believe the pattern after the promise. Believe the energy after the excuse. Believe who they become when they think you have forgiven enough to stop paying attention. Because apologies can be spoken in seconds, but character is proven over time, and the people who truly deserve your trust will never force you to survive the same pain again just to prove you are loving. 7. Respect everyone, but let very few reach the real you. The final lesson is this: you can respect everyone without giving everyone access to the deepest parts of you. This is where many good people get confused. They think being a good person means being completely open, completely available, completely transparent, and completely easy to reach. They think if they protect themselves, they are becoming cold. They think if they keep certain things private, they are being fake. But that is not wisdom. That is guilt disguised as kindness. Respect is something you can give freely. Trust is something people must earn. You can greet people with warmth, speak with manners, treat them fairly, help when it is right, and still keep the real you protected. You do not have to explain your entire life to prove you are sincere. You do not have to tell every story to prove you are honest. You do not have to give every person a front row seat to your pain, your dreams, your fears, your healing, your plans, and your private battles. Some parts of you are not for public access. Some parts of you are sacred. Some parts of you should only be known by people who have shown consistency, maturity, loyalty, and respect over time, because the real you is valuable. And valuable things are never left in the open for everyone to touch. Many people lose themselves because they keep opening their inner world to people who only deserved basic politeness. They meet someone, feel a connection, have a few deep conversations, and suddenly they start revealing everything. They talk about their wounds, their family problems, their insecurities, their future plans, their fears, their weak points, their past mistakes, and the dreams they have not even protected yet. Then later, when that person changes, becomes distant, becomes jealous, or becomes careless, they feel exposed, they feel robbed, they feel like someone walked into their inner home and left the door open. That pain teaches a serious lesson. Not everyone who listens deserves to know. Some people listen because they care. Some people listen because they are curious. Some people listen because your vulnerability entertains them. Some people listen because information gives them power. In the beginning, all of them can look interested. They ask questions. They nod. They act safe. They make you feel seen. But time reveals the difference between someone who is holding your truth with care and someone who is collecting pieces of you for later. This is why you must learn the difference between being open and being unguarded. Being open means you are not fake. You can speak honestly, you can connect, you can be kind, you can share moments, you can let people know enough to build healthy relationships. But being unguarded means you let people enter places they have not earned. It means you confuse closeness with safety. It means you hand over private information before someone has shown the character to protect it. And once the wrong person knows too much, your peace becomes easier to disturb. They know what makes you feel guilty. They know what you fear losing. They know where you are insecure. They know which dream matters to you. They know which wound still hurts. They know what sentence can silence you. They know what memory can pull you back. That is why the wise person does not give the full map of their heart to everyone who acts interested. The wise person respects everyone, but allows very few to reach the real self. This does not mean you become suspicious of every human being. That would make your life heavy. It means you become selective. You stop treating every temporary person like a permanent soul. You stop giving deep access to shallow connections. You stop calling every listener a friend. You stop mistaking chemistry for loyalty. You stop confusing attention with love. Attention can be given by anyone. Loyalty is proven by time. The real you should not be introduced too quickly. Let people meet the respectful version of you first. Let them meet the calm version, the kind version, the friendly version, the version that can speak, smile, and observe. Then watch. Watch how they handle small truths before giving them deeper ones. Watch how they speak about other people's secrets before trusting them with yours. Watch how they respond when you say no. Watch how they act when you are not useful. Watch how they behave when you are winning. Watch how they carry your name when you are not in the room. These things matter because access should follow evidence. You do not give someone the real you because they asked nicely. You give access because their behavior has earned it. They have shown they can hear your truth without using it against you. They have shown they can see your weakness without looking down on you. They have shown they can know your dreams without secretly hoping you fail. They have shown they can be close without becoming controlling. They have shown they can disagree without becoming disrespectful. That kind of person is rare. And because it is rare, access to you must be rare too. If everyone can reach the real you, then the real you is always at risk. Your emotions become too easy to touch. Your focus becomes too easy to interrupt. Your confidence becomes too easy to damage. Your plans become too easy to poison with opinions. Your peace becomes too dependent on how people treat what you revealed. This is why privacy is power. Not because you are hiding something bad, but because you are protecting something meaningful. A seed does not grow by being dug up every day. A dream does not survive when it is exposed to every opinion too early. Healing does not become stronger when careless people keep touching the wound. The real you needs space. The real you needs protection. The real you needs a quiet place where it can grow without being watched, judged, mocked, or manipulated. Some people will not understand this. They will call you secretive. They will say you changed. They will ask why you do not tell them everything anymore. They may even make you feel guilty for becoming more private. But listen carefully. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always question your boundaries when you finally create them. Do not let that confuse you. You are not required to be fully available to be a good person. You are not required to answer every question. You are not required to explain every silence. You are not required to prove your heart by exposing your private world. You can be respectful and still be reserved. You can be loving and still be selective. You can be kind and still be difficult to access. There is strength in being reachable with manners, but unreachable in your core. The world does not need to know everything you are building. The people around you do not need to know every move you are planning. The person who just entered your life does not need to know every scar you carry. The people who only appear when they need something do not need the same access as those who stayed when you had nothing to offer. Access must have levels. Some people deserve your respect. Fewer deserve your time. Fewer deserve your trust. Even fewer deserve your vulnerability. And only a very small number should ever reach the place where the real you lives. That is not arrogance. That is discernment. Because the real you is not the version that performs for the world. The real you is the private self behind your smile, the self that still hurts sometimes, the self that dreams quietly, the self that wants to be understood without being used, the self that wants peace, loyalty, safety, and truth. That version of you deserves protection. Do not hand that version to people who only know how to take. Some people are only safe with surface-level access. They can know your work, your interests, your general life, your friendly side, but they should not know your wounds. They should not know your deepest fear. They should not know your next move. They should not know the exact place where your heart still feels weak. Not because you hate them, but because they have not proven they can hold that knowledge with honor. The mistake is thinking everyone must be close or they must be cut off. No, some people can remain outside the gate with respect. You can smile at them, you can speak to them, you can work with them, you can share space with them, but they do not need the key. This is emotional maturity. You stop living in extremes, you stop giving everything or nothing. You start understanding that different people deserve different levels of access based on their character. There are people you can laugh with but not trust with your pain. There are people you can work with but not tell your plans. There are people you can forgive but not let close again. There are people you can love from a distance because closeness with them costs too much peace. This is how you stop becoming a fool while still remaining human, because the goal is not to become cold. Cold people shut everyone out because they are wounded. Wise people let the right people in because they are awake. There is a difference. A cold person says, I trust no one. A wise person says, I respect everyone, but I watch who proves themselves. A cold person builds walls from pain. A wise person builds doors with locks. The door can open, but not for everyone. Let very few reach the real you, because very few have the patience to understand you without twisting you. Very few can see your success without envy. Very few can hear your weakness without feeling powerful over you. Very few can know your secrets without wanting to share them. Very few can be trusted when emotions change, when seasons change, when benefits disappear, and when life tests the relationship. Time is the examiner, pressure is the examiner, boundaries are the examiner, distance is the examiner, success is the examiner, failure is the examiner. People reveal their right to access through these tests. If someone becomes bitter when you grow, they do not deserve the real you. If someone uses your honesty against you during conflict, they do not deserve the real you. If someone shares your private pain as gossip, they do not deserve the real you. If someone respects you only when you agree with them, they do not deserve the real you. If someone makes your peace feel unsafe, they do not deserve the real you. And you do not need to announce this decision. You do not need a dramatic speech. You do not need to prove anything. Sometimes the most powerful boundary is quiet adjustment. You simply stop sharing so much. You stop explaining so deeply. You stop giving emotional access. You stop offering your inner world to someone who keeps mishandling it. Let them meet the version of you their behavior has earned. This is a powerful line to live by. People should experience the level of you that matches the level of respect they have shown. If they have shown basic respect, give basic kindness. If they have shown consistency, give more trust. If they have shown loyalty through difficult moments, give deeper access. If they have shown care, honesty and protection over time, then maybe they can come closer. But if they have shown carelessness, distance yourself. If they have shown envy, protect your plans. If they have shown gossip, protect your secrets. If they have shown manipulation, protect your emotions. If they have shown repeated disrespect, protect your presence. You do not owe your real self to people who keep proving they cannot handle it. And this is especially important when you are healing. When you are rebuilding, you are sensitive. Your mind is trying to become clear again. Your heart is trying to become steady again. Your confidence is trying to return. This is not the time to let careless people walk in and out of your life. This is not the time to explain yourself to everyone. This is not the time to keep giving access to those who confuse you. When you are rebuilding, privacy is medicine. Heal quietly, grow quietly, plan quietly, change quietly. Let people see results later, not every step while you are still fragile, because some people do not know how to support what is still forming. They will speak doubt over it. They will minimize it. They will laugh at it. They will give advice from their own fear. And if you are not strong enough yet, their noise can make you abandon something that was meant to change your life. Protect what is still becoming. This is not about living a fake life. It is about understanding timing. Not every truth needs to be shared immediately. Not every person needs to know the full story. Not every question deserves a full answer. Not every relationship deserves total transparency. Sometimes the wisest answer is simple. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes the most peaceful decision is keeping your private life private. The real you does not need to be advertised. The real you needs to be guarded, because when the wrong people reach the real you, they can make you feel ashamed of your softness. They can make you regret your honesty. They can make you hate your kindness. They can make you question your own judgment. But when the right people reach the real you, they make you feel safe being sincere. They protect what you share. They do not punish you for being human. They do not use your vulnerability as a weapon. They make your inner world feel calmer, not more dangerous. That is how you know the difference. The right people bring safety. The wrong people bring exposure. The right people make you feel understood. The wrong people make you feel studied. The right people protect your name. The wrong people collect your flaws. The right people respect your boundaries. The wrong people treat your boundaries like betrayal. So respect everyone, but let very few reach the real you. Let this be the final rule of trust. Your kindness can be public, but your depth must be selective. Your manners can be for everyone, but your vulnerability is not. Your smile can be shared widely, but your private world must be protected carefully. Your respect can be generous, but your access must be earned. This is how you trust people without becoming a fool. You do not stop being good. You stop being unguarded. You do not stop loving people. You stop letting the wrong people reach the place where love can wound you the deepest. You do not become cruel. You become careful. And careful people survive what naive people keep repeating. From now on, let people prove where they belong. Do not rush them into your inner circle because they sound kind. Do not give them your secrets because they seem interested. Do not hand them your heart because they gave you attention. Watch them. Let time speak. Let behavior speak. Let pressure speak. Let consistency speak. Then decide. Because the real you is not for everyone. The real you is for the rare people who can meet your truth and not misuse it, see your wounds and not exploit them, know your dreams and not poison them, stand close to your soul and still honor your peace. Until someone proves they can do that, be respectful, be calm, be kind, but keep the door guarded. Not everyone deserves the key. 8. Never let trust make you betray yourself. The final danger is not that people may betray you. The deeper danger is that you may betray yourself while trying to keep trusting them. This happens slowly. At first you notice something, a strange shift, a small disrespect, a promise that does not match the behavior, a feeling in your chest that says, "Pay attention," but instead of listening, you silence yourself. You tell yourself not to overthink. You tell yourself to be patient. You tell yourself that good people should give chances. And little by little, you begin defending someone who is already showing you why they should not be trusted. That is how self-betrayal begins. It begins when you keep explaining away what your peace already understood. It begins when you keep accepting less than you deserve because you are afraid of looking difficult. It begins when you keep trusting someone's words because facing their behavior would force you to make a hard decision. Listen carefully. Trust should never require you to abandon your own eyes. If you saw the pattern, do not pretend you are blind. If you felt the disrespect, do not call it imagination. If your heart became heavy around them, do not keep forcing yourself to feel safe. If their presence keeps making you smaller, quieter, more anxious, and less yourself, then your soul is not being dramatic. It is trying to protect you. Many people think loyalty means staying no matter what. But loyalty without self-respect becomes a prison. You can be loyal to someone and still be honest about what they are doing to you. You can care about someone and still admit they are unsafe for your peace. You can love someone and still decide that loving them closely is destroying the version of you that you worked so hard to rebuild. The wrong people often do not need to break you in one big moment. They only need you to keep ignoring yourself in small moments. They need you to keep saying yes when you mean no. They need you to keep accepting apologies without change. They need you to keep feeling guilty for having boundaries. They need you to keep choosing their comfort over your truth. And if you keep doing that long enough, you will wake up one day and realize the person who betrayed you most was not them. It was you, because you knew. Maybe not everything, but enough. You saw enough. You felt enough. You had enough signs. You watched enough patterns. But you kept choosing hope over evidence. You kept choosing attachment over peace. You kept choosing their potential over their reality. This is why the art of trusting people without becoming a fool always ends with self-trust. Before you can trust others wisely, you must trust yourself deeply. Trust your observation. Trust your discomfort. Trust your boundaries. Trust the version of you that knows when something is not right, even when you cannot explain it perfectly. You do not need a courtroom level of proof to protect your peace. You do not need to wait until someone humiliates you, betrays you, exposes you, or destroys you completely. Sometimes the proof is the repeated heaviness. Sometimes the proof is the way you feel relieved when they are gone. Sometimes the proof is the way you keep rehearsing conversations in your mind, because being around them no longer feels simple. Do not ignore that. A person who is good for your life will not make you constantly fight yourself. They will not make your intuition feel like an enemy. They will not make you feel guilty for needing safety. They will not require you to shrink your standards just to keep them close. So from now on, make this rule sacred. Never trust someone so much that you stop trusting yourself. If something feels wrong, slow down. If someone keeps crossing your boundaries, step back. If their apology does not create change, believe the behavior. If their words sound beautiful but your peace keeps disappearing, trust your peace. If they only value you when you are useful, stop giving them the best parts of you. You are allowed to adjust access without making an announcement. You are allowed to become private. You are allowed to stop explaining. You are allowed to protect your inner world. You are allowed to respect someone from a distance because closeness with them costs too much. This is not coldness. This is wisdom. The strongest people are not the ones who never get hurt. They are the ones who learn from what hurt them. They stop handing their heart to every voice that sounds kind. They stop giving their secrets to every person who seems interested. They stop mistaking attention for loyalty. They stop calling every connection a friendship. And most importantly, they stop betraying themselves to keep people who keep proving they are not safe. Trust people with respect. Trust people with patience. Trust people with space to prove themselves. But never trust anyone more than you trust the truth your own life is showing you. Because when you trust yourself again, you become difficult to fool. Not because you become suspicious of everyone, but because you finally stop abandoning yourself for anyone. And in the end, trusting people without becoming a fool is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming awake. You can still be kind. You can still love deeply. You can still respect people with a clean heart. But now you understand that access is not charity. Your mind, your peace, your plans, your pain, and your real self are not open doors for anyone who smiles correctly. Let people earn closeness through time. Let behavior speak louder than apologies. Let your peace decide what your heart is too soft to admit, because the right people will never need to force their way into your life. They will prove quietly and consistently that they deserve to be there. So respect everyone, trust slowly, reveal wisely, and never hand the key to your inner world to someone who has not earned it. This is how you stay kind without ever becoming easy to use.